to another Shweiki Media Booster session. I'm so thrilled that you decided to join us once again. This is Ryan Dorn over at 360 Ad Sales and Brain Swell Media, and talking about today one of my favorite topics of late to discuss, and that is selling social media. How to price it, how to pitch it. Now, we've talked about social media in the past before, but we've never really gotten into the nitty-gritty in terms of, hey, how exactly do we price it? What do we look at inside the admin tool in Facebook to figure out where do our pricing metrics come from? And my prediction is this is going to be one of those popular workshops that we've ever done together. So let's work through some tips on selling social media, how to pitch it, and how to price it. Now, the first thing that it's important for us to accurately recognize is that there has to be a balance. We have to have some type of balance, meaning that when we begin to sell social media, we can't just start placing a commercial posts up on your Facebook feed or on your Twitter feed or up on your Pinterest feed, okay? We have to create a balance with the editorial team. So what I have to do is encourage all of my sales managers to speak first with the editorial team and come up with some type of editorial litmus test, okay? Now, what I like to do is I like to say this. When I begin to sell into my social media feeds, Facebook, whatever it is, each commercial post must have a reader benefit. So what we don't want to see on Facebook is just buy one, get one free, stop by tonight to get a free drink. You want to make sure that there's some type of reader benefit. And now that's going to come from, phrase it, it's going to come from what is the commercial advertiser wanting to promote and how do we phrase it and write it. We're going to talk about that in a second. Now for me, what I like to do is I like to make sure we only have one commercial post for every 10 editorial posts. I want it to be a nice balance. Now what happens, unfortunately, is that you get with commercial posts. Then it ruins your fan base. So you worked really hard to build up your fans on Twitter and Facebook and your other social media channels. So let's not abuse them, but make some money from the process. Okay, and we're going to talk through how Facebook is going to, basically stop you or hinder you, rather, from making this happen. So let me ask you a question. Look at your screen now. Which post shows more reader benefit? So up on Facebook, if the post was Mike's Bikes, now offering $50 off a new bike, click here. Now, the value, you'd say, Ryan, it's clear, it's concise, it's a read, right? Well, the thing is, it's a blatantly promotional post that's been put up on Facebook or on Twitter. Isn't it blatantly promotional? Look at it yourself. Now, how can we phrase this so that comes across as being a reader benefit or something that's coming from the magazine as a benefit to your reader? About, hey guys, looking for some family fun, maybe a great way to get in shape? Mike's Bikes has the answer. All our readers get a great deal this week. Check it out. So just by rephrasing a commercial post from, hey, save $50 on your next mountain bike from Mike's Bikes, actually creating a post, use an editorial litmus test that's two-pronged. One, is there a reader benefit from this commercial post? And let's make sure we write it in such a way that actually sounds like an actual post and not an advertisement or not a commercial. Now, as we go through some of the examples I'm going to show you here today, some are going to be blatant and some are going to be a little more subtle. What I consider is this. If you're going to sell into your Facebook feeds correctly and you don't want to lose fans, make sure you make money in the long term, you've got to come up with some type of editorial litmus test. And that's tip number one. Now, tip number two, you always, with a commercial post and other posts, but with commercial posts, you want to make sure you add a picture to interaction. As a matter of fact, experts will tell us that when you add a picture to a text post, you can increase your click-through rates by as much as 15%. That's awesome, maybe even higher. So look at these two posts. They say exactly, basically the same thing, almost exactly the same thing, okay? And what your eye naturally is drawn to which one? Right, the one with the picture. I know that's what you said. That's why I agreed. So if you look at it, you'll see that a picture next to a post is always the way to not only draw someone's eye in, but it's going to potentially drive interaction higher by as much as 15%. So what you want to do whenever you're working with a commercial advertiser and they want to buy into your feed, you want to make sure they have a really nice, action-oriented of some kind. Now, if you look here on your screen, what you'll see now is a sample of the post that I just gave to you, or just showed to you, and you'll notice how much better it looks if you've got a picture with the post. Now, if you look right here to the right, one of the things that you're going to see is the text that's right here doesn't really draw your eye. Your eye is drawn where? That's right here to this plant, or right here to this particle. So it's important to understand that adding a picture is going to increase your interaction. Now, some of you might say, well, Ryan, when are we going to get to some more advanced stuff in terms of Facebook? Guys, if you don't master the fundamentals, and a lot of you don't, you're not going to make money. The first is you've got to have a reader benefit to these posts. The second is you've got to have some kind of picture. Now, check out this commercial post right here. I think this is an awesome post. This is on the Runner's World website. You can see that the advertiser right here is Gore-Tex. Now, they have, it says right here, and I thought this was kind of cool, it says, from our friends at the North Face. So then in your commercial post, it's saying sponsored or advertorial, which, by the way, never use the phrase advertorial. Don't use it with your advertisers. Don't even use it internally, okay? Advertorial is something people don't understand. What you want to talk about paid posts. This is a paid post. They sponsored. It can say for friends. There's a lot of ways that you can denote that it's paid. I like for our friends at the North Face. Compete, endure. 7 trail distances, 3 stops left in the United States. There's the hashtags for Facebook. You see 15% of registration. It's a big picture. It's got a nice big ad here to draw somebody's eye in. What do you think? You like it? I love it. I think it's a great way to be able to include commercial advertisements into it. And don't worry, we're going to get to the pricing here in it. But I absolutely love it. I think it's visual. I think it's strong. I think it makes a ton of sense. Here's an example, another really, really strong visual. Look at this one here. It's just a nice, big, strong visual. Now, you look over here on the right, and you can see some of these other posts that are here, that are on the left, on the left. So you would see a post that's here without a picture that's just in text, okay? This post here is boring, right? No matter what it says. And then look at this post over here on the right that's got massive amounts of graphic appeal. Ask me, the one on the right, that is definitely 100% the way to go. Do you agree with me? Well, I hope that you do, because I've observed time and time again that many times publishers do this wrong. They don't include vivid, nice pictures in an effort to try to drive interaction. Remember something. If your advertisers don't get good interaction from your advertising in your magazine, or they don't get good interaction with advertising on Facebook, what are they going to do? Or they're going to talk about it in a negative way. So that's what I always want to make sure. You can actually take a full-page ad and shrink it down, but I don't really know that that's the best approach, in my opinion. Instead, you want really strong visuals. Now, an example on Facebook from Quarter Horse News. Great magazine, great ship in place, really good salespeople. Done here is this is actually a real estate agent. So those of you that are in the city and regional magazine space, really pay attention. So Realtor has a new listing. One of the things that they do here, they actually include a picture of the property and then a little bit about the property here. Now, you'd say, well, Ryan, that is a blatant promotional plug. It is. Remember something. Within the equestrian space, people really like to see pictures of properties. So, again, could have just pasted this on there with just text. They could, but look at what the image does. Look at the visual does to the overall Facebook post. It really draws their eye in. The other piece is, and I see this a lot, is they actually include right here a link to the Realtor's website. Now, why do I find that to be important? I find it because what you want to do is make sure that you can get from your Facebook page over to the advertiser's website. Never estimate the power of a good old-fashioned link to drive results. Now, you should link over to their Facebook page. Absolutely you can. That'd be something that you actually may want to consider. I think Quarter Horse News is doing a great job. Clearly, this is something that's paid. I think it could be a part of a greater advertiser package, which we're going to talk about in just a couple seconds. But remember, you always want to add a visual to keep it strong, to keep it simple, and to keep it clean, and to drive interaction. One more example is a picture of a horse, obviously, but it's for a sale that they're promoting. A horse auction is happening. And so this is the picture they use to draw somebody's eyes. I think it's a really great example. Now, let's look at an alternative example. So Chicago Magazine, clearly something that's paid for fashion outlets of Chicago. So I think it's a great example. Now, I'd like to give you my opinion, if you don't mind. How often do people actually ask for permission before they give you their opinion? So if you don't mind, let me give you my opinion. I think this is colorful. I think it's pretty cool, but I think there's too much text. What I see is the text up here, okay, in the post. You see the text right here, okay, and less text right here. I just like all this text that's here at the bottom. I just think it makes it really kind of hard to read. So to me, what it looks like they did, now I might be wrong on this, the people at Chicago Magazine are good folks. I know them well, okay, and they've been in a lot of my training classes in Chicago. The thing to remember is I just feel like there's too much there. Now, there's no reason why they included all of this, and maybe I can ask them next time I have an opportunity. For me, it looks like they've taken basically a fourth-page ad, scrunched it down to make it a Facebook post. So I'm thrilled about it, but I applaud them for giving it their very, very best shot. I think it's pretty good. Now, look right here. You're going to notice at the top they've got written here, okay? And what does it say? It says sponsored. So I think there's a bunch of ways that you can drive this. I think you can put on there sponsored, okay? I also think that you can, do from your friends. You can do paid content if you want to. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways that you can tackle it. So, just shot and figure out, exactly what you're going to do. So that was tip number 2. You always include a picture in commercial posts, and maybe you can resize some ads. All right, now the real meat of the matter, if you will. And let's talk, I'm sorry. Let's pause 1 second before we go on. Post on Twitter. Sorry, I moved through Facebook, and I didn't give you some Twitter examples. My apologies for that. To Twitter, what I'd like you to consider doing is when you make that tweet, because you actually can't see the picture or the video, what I want to do is I want you to put picture in all capital letters and an exclamation point, or video in all capital letters and an exclamation point, to the tweet and the link over to the picture or the video. Okay? So I'll say that real quickly before we move on. I want to skip over that. All right? Most of the stuff we're focusing on for most of you on this call is going to be Facebook, and that's why we're spending so much time on it. But all the principles that we're talking about here today apply to Twitter, apply to Pinterest, to Tumblr, StumbleUpon, whatever it is that you're using as your social media or sharing device. All right, back again. Meat of the matter. Tip number 3, understanding the price. First of all, the price is distinctly driven, especially on Facebook, by engagement, not the level of fans, okay? So we're here on the Houston Chronicles page. You've noticed they've got it says sponsored here. So it says sponsored content, okay? In my opinion, that's probably going a little overboard. I don't know that you need to say sponsored content, but that's just my opinion. Then they've got a nice image, and then they've got, a nice little bit of text here. Let's look now, though, and see in terms of total fans as an example, okay? So if you look here at your screen, what you notice is when you're in the admin panel on Facebook, you can see each one of your posts, okay, as it is shown here. Here's the posts. Then you've actually got a column that actually shows total reach, meaning how many people to reach. Now you'll notice each day it's different. So in a particular case, on this particular page, there are several thousand fans of the page, okay? But remember something. Facebook does not guarantee that when you put up a post on your Facebook page that every single one of your fans is going to see it, or your likes, if you will, okay? Remember something. There's a couple ways to handle this. One is that if you want all of your fans to see it, very often you have to promote the post, okay? Because Facebook is no longer guaranteeing. They did it one time. It wasn't a guarantee. It just happened. Then when you put up a post, it was going to, show up, in the feed for everybody. It just doesn't happen like that anymore. Now, my opinion is that Facebook said, hey, we need to make some money from this. And so the way that we're going to make money is we're going to charge to promote these posts. So just have a lot of likes on your page. So in this particular case, the total likes was 24,377 total likes. Friends of fans is 11 million. Okay, the people talking about this particular page is 1,200. The weekly total reach is about 70,000. If you go into Admin Tool, what you can do is actually mouse across each one of these points, and you can actually see what post occurred at these high peaks. Now, why do you want to focus in on some of these higher peaks? Well, the reason you want to find out what post happened on that day, so that you actually rinse and repeat. You can redo those types of posts. All right. Now, notice here at the top something that's important. You export this data from your Admin Tool. Okay. Export the data from the Admin Tool so you can actually analyze it. What you can't do, though, guys, is you can't sell off this number here. I mean, you cannot sell off total likes because you can't guarantee to an advertiser that their commercial message is going to reach all those people. Are you with me? Are you following me on that? Hope you are. And so what you have to do is you have to dig in. You have to dig a little bit deeper, okay? So what you do in your Admin Tool is you want to look at the posts, the number of posts that occur. Here's the posts. You want to look at total reach here, and then you actually look at engaged users, which is here, which is going to show the number of users that actually engaged with that post, okay? So the first number is 160,000 was the total reach, and 1,600 users did something with it. They started another post with that post. They shared the post. They did a number of things with it, okay? In most cases, what you want to do, again, is here's the zoomed-in version. You want to look at total reach. That's a number that we can work from, or engaged users. Now, this is the point where you need to have a business discussion with your company. Now, if you'd like me to be involved in that discussion, I'm happy to be involved in that. And as a Shweiki customer, I'm happy to offer you 25% off in terms of that discussion. My sales pitch there. What you're going to charge is somewhere between $75 to $125 a thousand, based on actual reach or your total number of engaged users. Now, some might like the engaged user number. Okay, you might like this number here because it's a number that means somebody did something with the post. Some of you may not worry about that. You might say, listen, Ryan, all I want to do is get paid for the amount of people that it reached, okay, not the people that did something with it. Again, engaged users right here, this number here in the middle, is people that did something with one of these posts, okay? An example, just to make sure we're all very, very clear. This post that's right here, okay, this post right here, the second one, that's 2/23/12, who are essential whatever. That 3,918 people did something with it. You decide amongst yourselves within your business and your business models how you want to charge. Now, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to base it on engaged users, 1,630 right here, engaged users. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take those engaged users and I'm going to divide it by 1,000, which is 1.63. Tell me my CPM, my cost per thousand. Then I'm going to take 1.63 times $75, which means I'm going to be charging $122.25 for that host. Now, how do you do this so that your math doesn't get out of control? How do you do this so that down the road you're always trying to figure this out? What I base it on a rolling average. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to look at over the course of, say, a week, okay, maybe even a month, maybe a better way to do it. So let's just look at a rolling average. So I've got my calculator here. You follow it with me in that second column. So you've got 1,630, okay, you've got 918, adding this up, 1,439, and you've got 831, okay? That equals 4,818. So you're going to take that and divide it by 4. It gives you an average of around 1,200, okay? So the average isn't that 12,040 is not that far off 1,630 that you see right there on your screen, okay? So you want to come up with maybe a rolling average that you charge for. What you may do is that you want to follow the television business as a good model. So if someone is buying advertising in the Super Bowl, what happens? ABC, NBC, whoever is going to say, hey, we expect 1.2 million or whatever the number is. It's higher than that, I'm sure, 22 million or whatever. We expect 22 million people to watch. And we're going to charge you this amount of money, $1 million. Well, if 22 million people don't watch, let's say only 1 million, okay, they have to do things called make goods to make that up. I mean, they have to make good. Now, they're not going to probably refund money. They're going to run their commercial in other places to make good on that promise, if you will. Using this rolling average, if the post goes up and it's only engaged by, say, 50 people, I mean, you may have to do make goods, on that. So it's important for all of us really to understand this, that when you launch your admin tool, you're going to be the number of posts here that's circled. Then you've got reach, the number of people it actually went out to, and then the number of engaged users. Again, let's zoom in on this, okay? So here's posts here on the left under post. Reach is the number of people when they actually went and pushed this post out, the number of people that it actually reached, 169,000. It does not mean that they read it. It means that's the reach, okay? So that's sort of like your circulation, if you will. I mean, I'm using that loosely. Engaged users, though, at 1,630. That number of people that actually did something with it. So honestly, I mean, I'm sure the number of people that read it is much higher than 1,630. I'm sure of it, okay? Because when you look at 169,000 or whatever it is here, you know it's going to be higher. But the thing to remember is we ought to give, in using social media, we've got to give advertisers something they can hold on to. Just start making up numbers. We definitely can't use fans or likes to sell from. We just can't. Now, in some more advanced classes and when we have a lot more time, what you can also do is you can actually charge to promote posts, okay? So as an example, let me go back here. Let's just say that this is your commercial post right here, okay? And what you want to do is you might say to this particular advertiser here, you might say, hey, we can actually promote your post. We're going to charge you $125 for that initial single post. But if you want, we can actually promote your post to another 30,000 within the Facebook community. And making this number up, $2 to do that, just as an example. So very often it's cheaper and easier for an advertiser to have you do this and promote the post than them. Remember something about Facebook and in selling it, okay? It is a little bit of a vapor medium, so you've got to be kind of careful because people have a hard time getting it, okay? But because Facebook is so widely used, typically most advertisers understand what it is that you're trying to sell to them and what you can potentially get across from it, through it. To me, though, it's about packaging it. It's about presenting a package that makes a lot of sense. Me going out today and starting to sell social media per se, as much as it is Mr. or Mrs. Advertiser. How many times does a new customer of yours need to see their marketing message, your marketing message, before they decide to do business with you? The answer is 3 or 4. Great. You need to run a print ad with me. You need to do an e-newsletter. You need to do a social media mention. Okay? You need to be on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and we can help you with that. What it is, though, you really want to make sure that you package it. This is a really cool example I loved from New Jersey Monthly, and they've been using this out in the marketplace. I think it's great. And what they did is, if you notice along the grid here, is they probably had an ultra package, a premium package. I mean, these guys just really knocked it out of the park. I mean, just a great job that all of the folks, Beth, Frank, Kate at New Jersey Monthly. I mean, these guys, they just really knocked the ball out of the park. So you'll notice here in the packages you can buy a full spread. You're going to get mentioned in Facebook. You're going to get a tutorial listing. You're going to get a plaque. You're going to get a blog post. I mean, they just really packaged it really, really nicely. Now, price is nothing new. It's not a new for me. It's not something we haven't talked about before on these Shweiki Booster calls. What is important for me to note to you is you've got to integrate social media into the package. If you don't package, sorry, you just miss out. The Shweiki calls here that we're on, obviously we don't get into intimate detail in all of these things, okay? So that's something that you and I can do together offline. But what I understand is in general, those people that package social media into whatever it is they're selling, those are the people with good success. If you sell social media on its own without a package, you really have a hard time. You're going to struggle with it. You're going to go, and everything I do rewards people, rewards advertisers for buying from me. Or if I'm at an event, the more you do with me at my event, the more I can do on a webcast or social media with you. I call it Print Plus. And I've been calling it Print Plus since probably 96. Maybe not that long ago. But I've been calling it Print Plus for a long time. It feels like 96 sometimes. And it's important for you to understand, everything I talk about is all about expanding on your traditional products. It's important that you package this if you want to make some money on it. And that's why I really feel like these guys in New Jersey Monthly did an awesome job, because it's just a really, really nice package. It's an overall nice offering. One person, you get all of that. I think it's a ton of sense. Now, what's next? So you buy into the package, and now we're here on the New Jersey Monthly Facebook page. This is awesome. Now, at the top, okay, they've got Find a Doctor, Find a Dentist. These are two sellable entities for New Jersey Monthly. I mean, rock star ideas. So we use these paid tabs at the top and using Facebook HTML, FBHTML or something like that. I don't know the exact acronym. I just know how to get in there and use it. Now when you click on those, you're actually going to get a searchable database. It's about taking Facebook to the next level. This is getting in there, getting your hands dirty, and figuring out, hey, how can we do more with Facebook? These guys are doing it. They're really knocking the ball out of the park. Now, some of you might say, Ryan, I can barely get my printed magazine out the door. Listen, I understand exactly what you're going through. I get it. But I'm here to tell you, you do not have to be a genius. You do not have to be a techno wizard to pitch Facebook. You need to get in there and get your hands dirty, pop the hood on that car, and get up under there, get advice if you don't know what you're looking at, and get going on it. Don't be guilty of paralysis by analysis. These are some cool things, and you can too. If you really sell social media, you've got to have a promotional calendar. Okay? It's really hard to sell what's a fantasy. So sell into contests, sell into editorial emphasis editions, or whatever it is. You've got to have a promotional calendar along with the editorial calendar. So contests, as an example, and one of the companies that I love to handle contests is Second Street Media. I think they're a great staff, great founder. These folks just really, they eat, breathe, and drink and sleep media. Come up with a promotional calendar, so that you really have an opportunity for your sales team to sell it. You don't want to be doing promotions and social media enterprises and selling social media willy-nilly. You want to make sure that you have a plan. They always say, experts always say, failure to plan is planning to fail. And I mean, that really is the truth. And so that's why you need a promotion or contesting calendar. Now, to give away on social media, and how are you going to price it? Well, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I survey my readers and I give them prizes that they actually want. Now, a lot of you assume you know what your readers want, and I'm just going to be straight with you. You're going to be wrong a lot. I'm a smart cat. A lot of you guys are pretty smart that are on this webinar today. You got to recognize is this. Humble yourself and recognize that, you know what? It's highly likely that I don't know what my readers want, even if I've been doing this 20 years. Honestly, humble yourself and have that conversation with yourself and then run a survey and see if you're right or wrong. The things you're going to find if you're wrong is this, that, a bad day for your ego is a good day for your soul. It's a good day to grow, okay? And that's why you really, really need to understand a promotional calendar and stack it next to your editorial calendar so that you can sell it into social media. You can go to your advertisers and work with them and sell it. Don't forget, Facebook requires that you use an approved app if you're going to contest and have it sponsored. So in the cutest baby contest, an example, or the ugliest bathroom contest, or whatever, you have to use an approved app. That's why I like companies like Second Street Media that are a part of the media business. They understand magazines, TVs, newspapers, things like that. Okay, and they don't pay me to talk about them. I just talk about people when I can really see that they're doing a good job. You guys really do a good job. I've got lots of customers and clients that use their service. So putting together those calendars and those contests, again, you're going to use all the principles that we already talked about today. So here's a contest that's happening on Women's Day Magazine's Facebook page. So they've visual to declare the contest. You click on the link, and then you're going to go over to a sign-up page that's happening through one of the many contesting apps that are available on Facebook. Remember, no app means you are in violation of Facebook's terms of service. And they can and will shut you down. I've seen it happen before, so make sure you're not running illegal contests, especially if they're sponsored. But I love these contests online. It makes a ton of sense. Price contests based on expected levels of interaction go back to our previous conversation on coming up with a rolling average of engaged users. Guys, I'll tell you right now, I like the engaged user numbers. I mean, to me, those make a ton of sense, the engaged user numbers, rather than the reach. The reason is because I want interaction from my advertisers. But I could just as easily sell based on reach rather than engagement. I really could. And I have a sales story to go along with that as well. Just sell the same way, 75 to 125, 1,000. Okay, contest doesn't go well, doesn't draw in enough data or whatever. You can always offer, make goods to those folks as well. Don't be afraid to make goods. Don't be afraid of it. Get out there and launch some contests. Get out there and have some sponsored content. I mean, altogether, it's important for you to just start getting your head around this and get on it before we don't have the opportunity to do this any longer. Now remember, everything we're talking about on Facebook applies to Twitter, applies to Pinterest with some slight variations. Again, we're focusing on Facebook because that's where most of you are going to be at in terms of strategy. All right? Okay, number 6, find AR and sell it. Okay, so offer the best. So if you are on this call, on this webinar, and you are a B2B magazine, you're in the B2B space, maybe you have more people on Twitter. So then sell to that audience and then add in Facebook into those numbers. And say, we've got this many Twitter people, this many Facebook people, this many Pinterest people. Just add those numbers together and come up with a rolling average based on engagement. So if you have Twitter, go there and add in Facebook. If you have more Facebook, go there and add in Twitter. If you've got good numbers for both, combine the numbers, come up with a rolling average of either reach or engagement. But just remember, on Twitter, you can't sell based on your number of followers. You can sell on Facebook based on the number of likes or fans. Face the facts is this. People want engagement. People want results. I say people, I mean advertisers. Advertisers want engagement. Advertisers want results. And that's why both of these numbers are great. Sell it somewhere between 75 and 125, 1,000. Now, let's just say that you happen to be a magazine for oncologists, doctors, or lawyers. Maybe you can get more than 125, especially B2B space. I say rock on. Give it a shot. Try it. Use it. But for me, what I'm going to do is find a sweet spot. I want to find a honey hole that I can go back to time and time again, just like my favorite fishing spot. I want to find the one that works for me. All right, so your 6 tips as we wrap up. 1, you've got to create a balance. Go to work with the editorial team, okay? If the editorial team is saying, hey, we can't sell into Facebook, I know why they're saying that, because they know you. They know salespeople. They know me. They know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell that joker. I'm going to sell it out. And rightfully so. Because that's what we do, professional salespeople. So you have to get a balance. So if you're in the group, if you're a publisher on this webinar, or you're a sales manager, start right at the top, go to the editorial team and create a balance. Create an editorial litmus test so that everything you do on your Facebook or Twitter feeds have reader benefit. Number 2, always add a picture. The editorial post, add a picture, create your interaction, but it is a requirement. Do not do commercial posts, guys, without a picture, period. Do not do it. Do not do it, because you're not going to get a high enough level of interaction, and the advertiser is going to be upset. Number 3, understand the price. 75 to 125,000, don't play. And we learn from banner ads. What did we learn by giving banner ads away? When they came and we sell those banner ads, what did our advertisers say? You're giving it to me for free. Why should I pay for it now? Here's the thing that I always like to say if I get into that situation. Are you ready? The popularity of our digital products, we can no longer offer them for free. But I could give you a great discount if you continue to buy more media with me. Maybe you could record it, have it on your phone. Do our digital products? Unfortunately, I can't offer them for free anymore. They're just too popular. But I am able to offer you a highly discounted price. Way to say it. All right, number 4, package it. You've got to create packages. I've got clients and customers large and small, markets large and small, whether it's Los Angeles, Tampa, New Jersey, all the way Wisconsin, Minnesota, Minneapolis. Packaging works. If packaging is not working for you, and you've heard me talk about it, you're like, Ryan, I've tried it. Guess what? You sell off. It's a sales problem, it's a pitch problem, it's a price problem, it's a process problem, or it's a person. It's the person. Because packages work, all right? Buying and selling works. 5, come up with a promotional calendar. You have contests and promotions that need to be sold on social media. You can't sell it without a promo calendar. If you don't have a promo calendar, there's really nothing, and contests, there's really nothing for the sales team to work from. So everything's kind of willy-nilly, and we don't want that. Number 6, sell the audience. I mean, not the audience there. If your only hang-up is the editorial team, come on. There's 100 ways to Sunday to get that. Now, do you need to call them for you? I mean, that's what we need to do. That's what we're going to do because I want you to engaging success. I mean, it's so unbelievably important. And I think that you can sit down and go through those 6 points and all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world. Well, when it's selling social media and pitching it and I've broken that down in some pretty good detail for you. There's just no possible way that we can get into the intimate details of every single itty-bitty thing. And you might have questions. You might need more. Here's again, I'm here to tell you this. I've got a special arrangement with Shweiki. I'll get on the phone with you and offer you a 25% discount just because I really believe in this partnership with Shweiki, and I want you guys to get the help that you need. Because just like it says on your screen, every budget deserves great strategy and training. So I try to always make sure that I avail myself to all of you. Don't be guilty of paralysis by analysis. Get out there and sell social media. It's so important for you to understand how you price it and then get down and package it so that you can pitch it. The thing I'll tell you is this. Salespeople don't practice. So it comes time to sell social media, they're going to sound like a bunch of, stumbling, folks. It's important. You've got to practice this. You've got to sit and talk about social media. You've got to have some rehearsal conversations. As a salesperson, I want to be polished. I want to go out there and sound professional and polished. The best example I can give you in terms of selling social media and being well rehearsed is this. Just imagine if you went to a theatrical play and you sit down in the audience after for a ticket, sat in the audience, and this director comes out and says, everybody, welcome to the play tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to get started with rehearsal now. And you guys just sit tight. We're going to rehearse this, and then we're going to perform it for you later on. I mean, just imagine if that happened. That happened. You don't want to rehearse on your advertisers. So when it comes to selling social media, you're going to sound like an idiot if you don't rehearse, if you're not polished and well practiced. Look, I know everybody hates to role play. I get it. I don't like to do it, but I do like to practice because I know that practice makes perfect. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this webinar today. Thanks so much to the fine folks over at Shweiki Media for hosting these and making these available. And again, if I can be of help to you, reach out to me. My name is Ryan Dorn from 360 Ad Sales and Brainswell Media, and thanks so much. And just remember, if ad sales was easy, everybody would be doing it. So embrace it and go there and make some money. We'll see you on the streets. Take care, everybody.